Hey everybody, this is Andrew from T is for Tech, and today I just wanted to take some time to go over two platforms that I use for finding royalty-free music for my videos on YouTube. So I'm pretty sure that if you're looking at this or you're searching on YouTube for, royalty-free music, there's a bunch of different options out there from free included with YouTube, right? So YouTube has some audio that you can use for your videos, and there's some other websites out there too, but a few of the popular ones that you'll find if you're looking are Soundstripe and Epidemic Sound. Now, first of all, I did start off with just Soundstripe, and I really like their website. I did a review of Soundstripe a few months back, and you can take a look at that in the card above and just kind of get a good look at that. And things have changed positively in Soundstripe over the last few months as well. They do often update the way that their interface works. They have this recently added songs, so you can find new songs. That was one of the things I didn't necessarily like months and months ago. It was kind of hard to find when the newest things were out. But they do have a really nice way to do that now. And all around, I mean, they just constantly are adding really decent music, really good music into their platform. So I really do like Soundstripe overall, and I use them a lot in my videos. Now, one of the things that I've noticed is a little bit different, and why I like Soundstripe in many ways is they have these alternate versions, right? So a lot of the songs, I would say a good majority of the songs actually have alternate versions uploaded with them, right? So if you're looking at a song here, say like this fa la 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 fa la la llama, this is like a Christmassy song sounding thing, but you can, you'll listen to the song here, and then they have like 27-second different instrumental versions, right? And what's cool about this sort of thing on Soundstripe is that if you have some music that you're playing along as part of your video and you don't want the full mix, you can basically get these alternate versions of the songs, and you can use those for certain things, right? So often I'll find a song that I like, and I'll use a few of the instrumentals for either the intro part of a video or the outro of a video at the end of the song or at the end of my video. So it gives you some really nicely already cut up segments of the song that you can use for your videos, right? So that's really actually pretty nice. Now, that's just one of the things I really like about Soundstripe. They have tons of stuff here. The one thing I don't like as much is that basically they also have the sound effects, but it requires an additional subscription cost to access the sound effects. So that's one thing I don't like, because obviously as a creator, there's things that you want to find some sound effects and stuff like that, and it's basically you need to get a premium version of Soundstripe in order to get the extra sound effects. So that's just one thing I don't like as much about it, right? But I do like the fact that they give you alternate versions of songs. You can even upgrade that and get the stems, right? And stems would be the different breakout pieces of the song. So if there's the bass line, the drums, the instrumental, different pieces like that. A lot of songs also have the stems, which you will require to have the premium version, right? What's cool about Epidemic Sound is that basically the sound effects are included. So I should actually check. I don't know exactly what the difference in the library is and how many sound effects they have in Epidemic versus how many sound effects they have in Soundstripe, but you can get these included with your subscription at no additional cost, at just even the creator subscription, right? The kind of the low subscription there. So that's actually pretty nice on the Epidemic Sound side. So you get the music and you get the sound effects as part of the same your base subscription. You can do a lot of the same searching and all of that in both of the platforms. So really, from that perspective, you have a lot of different ways to search through. So you can do by in Soundstripe, you can do by mood, genre, pace, instruments, key, artist, playlists that you have, vocal, instrumental, duration, BPM, beats per minute, advanced sort of thing. You can do that same thing over here kind of genres, moods, movement, places, energy, tempo, length, all that stuff. I mean, they basically allow you to do similar from the slicing and dicing perspective on both platforms. Now, the one thing you will notice when you're looking at the music in Epidemic Sound is I think some of it actually is a little more, and I don't want to say high quality because they're both high quality, but a lot of people use Epidemic Sound, and there's a lot of songs that sound like things you'll hear on the radio, right? So there's a lot more, I would say, kind of mainstream sounding artists and songs and things like that on Epidemic versus Soundstripe. Take that as you will, I guess. You'll have to do some side-by-side comparison to kind of see what type of music that you need for your channel or for your creations, and kind of do that side-by-side. And you can preview all of those without having a subscription, so that's one thing that's really nice. But the one thing I did notice really is that there is quite a few more like contemporary things that you would not think twice about hearing on the radio. That's the kind of the gist that I ultimately get. Now, that's not to say that that's good nor bad. It's just something I noticed when I was, basically looking through music and using them in my videos. So in Epidemic, they call them albums. In Soundstripe, they call them playlists, right? So they have playlists for different things, staff picks, etc. Same sort of deal, curated lists and playlists of songs that fit different themes and that sort of thing. I will say, generally, my feeling is that Epidemic has a lot more variety in the types of segmentation and albums that they do publish. And, they have things like your guitar grooves, cinematic drama, but then they also have gaming EDM, even saying for Twitch streaming, right? So there's very specific albums and collections of music, electro sound beds, tape machines is obviously an artist. So as you can see, you can look at the waveforms of the songs, you can skip around, you can preview them. In Epidemic, a lot of them, you also get the stems. So you can basically look at just things like the melody, right? You want the full mix melody, instrument stem, bass stem, drum stem. Many of these songs in Epidemic have those stems, right? So whereas in Soundstripe, you have to pay extra to get access to the stems, Epidemic, they are available kind of right out of the box. Yeah, so that's a few of the differences there. Now, I really do like the songs. Like I said, I've probably said this a few times already. And just broadly, all of the features of the sites are very similar. So you can share things, you can add them, you can look at tracks similar to, right? Add them to playlists, download them, all of that really easily. So really, from that aspect, the functionality of the platforms is very similar. I can't really think of anything that's glaringly missing in one that the other has, from just a discoverability of music, a browsing through, favoriting things, and all of that. So you're really going to have that same experience regardless of the platform, at least from my experience, right? The way that I've been using them over the last few months and whatnot. The biggest thing really does come down to the quality of music, the variety of music that's available on the platforms. And for my specific use, a lot of my videos are kind of tech related, so I'm kind of looking for some kind of those quirky tech sounding, not really cheesy, but decent sounding EDM or music and electronic music and that sort of thing. And I can find a lot of that on Soundstripe. I do like the fact that the alternate versions are available there, in smaller chunks versus what I get in Epidemic, where I might have to chop it up myself. But again, you can do that easily in Premiere or any sort of editing software. You can, clip out a piece of the song, use whatever you want. So really, maybe that's not an ultimate, you have to have Soundstripe because of that, but it's a nice feature that they offer. So that's really all I wanted to cover today. I didn't want to make this too long. I didn't want to get too far into it. Like I said, I already did a Soundstripe kind of overview in the other video that I mentioned earlier. And, Epidemic is very similar. few of the main things that I like about Epidemic is seem like they have an overall better selection of really modern sounding songs. The sound effects are included, the stems are included. They have a really great way to browse through and see the albums and the curated lists and playlists of songs there. And it's really not that expensive. You know, if you're just a creator on YouTube, you can get it for $15 a month, right? If you're on the Soundstripe side, it's $19 a month if you're just doing it monthly, or it's $11.25 a month if you do billed annually. So it may be a little bit cheaper for Soundstripe than for Epidemic Sound, but then again, you don't get some of the sound effects, you don't get the stems and all of that. So if you get the premium here, you know, then it's even more expensive than Epidemic. But then honestly, I'm not quite sure if the songs are any better, right? It's kind of one of those things. So what I would advise, if you're interested in one of these, is just spend some time browsing the site, listening to the songs. And if you just go to Epidemic Sound, you can just go browse as well and just start looking at everything without having to log in or sign up. So it does give you a good way to kind of preview everything before you kind of commit to a subscription or whatnot. So go ahead and drop a comment below if you have any questions. I'd be happy to answer based on my experience and give you my honest feedback on either of these platforms. Please consider subscribing. Give this video a thumbs up. This is Andrew from TS for Tech. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.